guys, that's my best friend Shenielle.
And that's my best friend Janelle.
Today we have another story time.
Woo-hoo.
So today we're talking about our worst work experiences. Now, you want to start this off or?
Sure. I mean, like, where should I really begin?
I actually have two stories. So
Yeah.
you have two stories?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll take turns.
Okay, so, my one. This was like the first job that I got like right out of high school. And you know, like you just want to get in there. You want to work so you can get some money so you can do whatever you want to do in life. It was this small business. They had about 8 people. And out of the 8 people, 6 were Caucasian and the other 2 were Black. When I went in for my interview initially, the owner of the business, he looked at me, he was like, after asking all the questions and everything, making sure that I was there, he was like, well, I just have one other question. He's like, we like to play around, we may give a little bit of indecent jokes. Is that okay with you? And I was like, yeah. I mean, right out of high school, F-bombs, everything is flying. I'm like, this is for me, And I was like, yeah,
I actually like that when you can be so comfortable, like at your job, and people can curse unless you have like clients or whatever, and nobody's offended by it. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, and so for him to say that to me initially, I was like, yeah, like I like this. Well, a week into the business, I understood what he meant. One of the employees came up to me and was like, Shenielle, I got a joke for you. You're going to love this. I was like, all right, what? He was like, okay, so there's two kids, one white, one's Black. And I was like, all right. He was like, the baby is a baby. It's a white baby.
I already don't like where this is going.
I know. When he did it, I was like, okay. So he was like, there's a white child. The white child dies, goes to heaven, and they earn their... And I'm like, wings? And he's like, yeah. So what do you call that? Like I was like, oh, an angel. And he was like, yeah, okay. So now a Black baby dies and they go to heaven. I was like, okay. And he's like, they get up. And I'm like, wings. And he was like, and they're called and I said, an angel? He was like, no, a bat.
Bitch, what?
Yes.
Yes.
Bitch. My face was like,
oh my god, I can't even, I'm laughing because he thought that was okay.
Exactly.
He really thought that was okay.
I don't know what this man was thinking, but he was like dying laughing, and I'm just looking at him like, okay. What do I do at that point? I had to think, this is exactly where the owner was talking about, who do I go to? Do I say anything?
Yeah, did you go to HR?
There was no HR. There was no HR. It was his own little business, and I think that's why he said what he said. Needless to say, I didn't work there. I think I worked under a year, but yeah, I had to leave. So that was one of my first worst job experiences. Yeah.
All right, so I guess I'll talk about one of mine. So this one wasn't too bad compared to the next one anyway, but it was still kind of shitty. So when you leave, well, for me it was college. So I've never been in a position, and I know there are a lot of people out there that have different situations than me, but I've never been in a position where I had to work or had to struggle to work. My mom, she's the bomb. She's amazing. She wanted me to always be comfortable wherever I was. She's the first one to be like, I don't like that. I don't like what they're doing. You need to quit that, XYZ. So I was never in a position where I had to take a job because it was money or because it was, I needed the job. I was never in that position, and I'm so grateful for that. Shout out, Mom.
Yeah.
So I took this job after I was done with my degree, and in my opinion, when you start working, I feel like every company should realize that when you hire somebody new, you're gonna have to do a little bit of training. And people don't really like that. People don't understand that concept, first of all, but people don't like that because it's losing time and money from them. But guess what? It's called owning a business.
Yeah.
If you want people to work and work efficiently and effectively underneath you, you need to teach them what the hell they're doing.
Not even that, but teach them your way.
Right.
Your way. This is how I like it.
Right. A lot of jobs, I mean, do understand that. You know, like I've had friends that work at American Airlines. They train you. They train you thoroughly. I've worked for the government. They train you thoroughly. You know, you go to trainings throughout having that job in the government. And that's amazing. They teach you exactly what you're supposed to be doing. I mean, there's still trial and error and you need to figure things out on your own, obviously. You need to, you know, have some common sense.
Or know who to go to.
Right, to ask questions or whatever the case is. But training is so necessary, especially when you just come out and you're now starting to put your degree to use. Theory and what you're learning in school is completely different than practice and what you're doing at work.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I went to the interview, they were like, yeah, you know, we're available for training. We have an open door policy, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, this is cool. You know, I really wasn't thinking that people are so dense that they don't train and they're not there and they just kind of expect you to flail around like, you know, a fish out of water and figure it out. Like that made no sense to me. So, and I did have jobs previously. You know, I worked for a waxing place. I was, you know, a cashier. I took appointments, you know, little things like that. And obviously they'll talk to you and be like, this is what I expect. This is what you're going to do. You know, just do this when this happens. And, you know, that's minor training for minor jobs. But this is something even more skill goes into. So I start my first day. I'm super excited about this. This is my first job, you know, right after I got my degree. And I had two bosses. One of them was gone. She was completely missing the whole, you know, time that I was there. And I didn't stay long either because I was like, these people are kind of crazy. The first week that I was there was when I left. The one boss was gone and the other boss was there, but it seemed as though they bit off more than they can chew, which is a theme apparently.
Yeah.
So the boss that was in the office, I went to her to ask her about the employee handbook that they gave me, which was outdated completely. There were things in there like you need to ask when you're going to lunch if you can leave. You need to ask if you can leave at the end of the day. You need to let somebody know, things like that. And I'm kind of just like, you know.
Are you an adult?
Like, okay, if that's what you want. I mean, I'm going to leave regardless, but I'll let you know. Cool. So, you know, I take all this, I sign it, and I go to, you know, my boss at the end of the day, and I'm like, hey, and I walk into her office. The door's open, wide open. And I walk into her office and tell her that I'm leaving, and I was like, hey, and she, like, flags me off so quick, was completely rude about it, like, and I was like, what's happening? Like, I didn't understand. So I went back to my office and I was so confused. I'm ready to go. Like, I'm like, the day is over. But I went back to my office just sitting there like, what did I do? So eventually I kind of walked the other way and I realized that she was actually on a Skype call. Okay.
Why is your door open?
Thank you. Why is your door open? You just completely flagged me off, made me make a fool of myself in front of whoever you're talking to on Skype.
And
because, yeah, right, like, close your door.
Imagine what they look like.
And mad at me because I walked in. I didn't know. Close your damn door. So she finally gets off of the call. I even went to the other associate there and I was like, what's going on? Like, the handbook said X, Y, Z. And she was like, I don't know, but, I think you can just go. I'm not sure. Obviously, she's been working there for a while, but she's like, I'm not, if you want to wait for her to talk to her, but, I think you can. And I'm just sitting there like, I want to go, but you're not my boss.
You're not the boss.
No, I mean, like, the associate, like, it's like, I hear you, but what if I'm doing this wrong? What if you're doing this wrong? Like,
per the handbook.
Like, you made me sign this. Like, I don't understand why you'd make me sign it if this isn't what you want. So, and I didn't know it was outdated at the time. So she finally comes to my office, And she was like, what do you need? I was on a Skype call, and I was like, I didn't know, your door was open, da, da, da. She's like, what do you need? And she's giving me so much attitude at this point, like the most condescending of life.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I wasn't the one in the wrong here, but I didn't say this to her, obviously. She's still my boss, and I'm sitting here like, I'm really about to clock you, like you're pissing me off, but let me just chill. She turns around and she's like, what's going on? I'm like, well, the handbook said that I gotta let you know before I leave. And she was like, you're an attorney. Leave if you want to.
Did you write the handbook?
Who are you talking to? Me? Are you speaking to me like that? This was the first day that I was like, bitch better tone this shit down before she get clocked. Like, I'm getting pissed off now. I'm new, first of fucking all. Second of all, you told me that there was an open door policy. Third of all, I need to ask whether you're gonna fire me once I leave here or not. And fourth of all, you gave me this handbook to sign. And now you're telling me condescendingly, you can leave when you want to, you're an attorney. Excuse me, boo.
Boo.
Check yourself.
Before you wreck yourself.
Boo. I was so mad. I left the job. I'm driving home in traffic. It's mad traffic. I'm calling my mom like, this girl, she don't know who she talking to. Like, who is she talking to?
I'm still trying to find it. Who?
I looked all over. I couldn't figure it out. But again, she my boss. I'm gonna try to chill. Maybe it was just, she a little stressed. I'm gonna let it slide. Next day, come into work. Getting all the computer stuff figured out and, getting my account set up, all that stuff. Talking to the accountant for the firm about, our paycheck, all that good stuff. And then she comes and she just drops cases. Just drops them on my desk. And I'm kind of just looking at her like, okay. So I start going through the cases. And mind you, this is immigration. I don't know if anyone knows anything about immigration, but immigration is a completely different animal in itself. It's not like a lot of stuff that we learned in law school. So she gives me, a bunch of cases. I think it was like 13 cases right off rip. And I'm going through and I'm looking at stuff and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of figuring out a little bit of like what needs to be done and, what's going on with each case and where we're at and stuff. But now it comes time to like, okay, what's our next move? Like, I'm not familiar with this. This is the first time that I'm doing something like this whatsoever because I had a little bit of experience doing personal family kind of immigration. This was all business immigration. So I'm looking through and I'm like, okay, well, I see the files. Like, I'm not really sure where we're going with this, like what's happening. So I went to her office again and I'm like, hey, when you get a chance, can you come? I have some questions. So she comes to my office eventually. I'm just sitting here like, okay, I'm just waiting on her. I ain't got nothing to do right now because I need to figure out what's happening. So, I'm chilling in my office. She finally comes and she's talking to me and I'm like, so I'm trying to figure out like what's going on with these cases. Like how do you want me to, approach this? Like, what am I doing first off? What's going on? She kind of looks at me and again, completely condescending. I don't even think she realizes that she's condescending. Like, to this day, I really don't think that she knows.
I think a lot of people suffer from that.
But they don't really realize how they speak to people.
Yeah.
She turned and told me when I graduated from law school, I worked at a firm and the owner was barely ever there because he was sick and I had to figure everything out on my own.
Congrats!
How many cookies you want?
Congrats!
What kind? You want chocolate chip? You want oatmeal? Which one? Peanut butter? I like peanut butter. That's
Snickerdoodles.
I
like snickerdoodles.
You want a big one or a small one? Like, bitch, so? Like, are you sick? Are you not here? Like, did you not hire me and tell me that you were open door policy and you're there to ask any kind of question? Like, what are you talking about? Who cares? Really, seriously, who cares? I'll wait. No, maybe my bird's outside. I kind of hear them a little bit. Maybe they care.
Yeah.
I was so annoyed. Like, okay, what are you trying to tell me? Like, she starts like taking all these books off the bookshelf and just drop them on my desk, and it's just like, here, read these, figure it out. I was like, what? Like what? I'm hella confused right now. Like, okay. It was one of those like.
So there's no like time stipulation on
Exactly.
like, when this needs to get done.
Exactly. That was kind of part of my point. I'm kind of like, you're giving me all this stuff to read. Fine, like that's what you want to pay me to do. I'll read these books, but in the meanwhile, are these cases moving forward? Like, what's going on? I'm so confused. I don't really understand what's happening right now. I was hella annoyed. She walked out of my office like she gave no fucks, and I was like, okay, we're gonna do this, I guess. Next thing, she comes and she tells me that she needs me to go to a networking event. This is something that we discussed during the interview. And they both asked me, you know, how do you feel about networking? And I was like, I don't really care for it. I'm not really, you know, much of a networker. Obviously, networking is something that makes everybody feel uncomfortable. I think everybody's in the same boat. Other people have, you know, more of the outgoing kind of personality, and they just talk to anybody, and, you know, they're better at it. Yeah, like this one. I've never really been into that. You know, if I join a club or something, then that's different. But going to an event and just talking to people kind of makes me a little bit uncomfortable. So I, you know, was very honest with her. Oh, I'm not really, you know, into networking, you know, period. There was no further conversation about it. So I didn't know that they expected me to network as well. This is definitely something that you need to tell people. You need to tell the people that you hire what is expected of them. So she comes to my office and she says, oh, you need to go to a networking event tomorrow because, you know, the other partner who's out of town is not going to be around. So you need to go in her place. Okay, I guess we're doing this. All right. So where am I going and where? Oh, yeah, you have to be there at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So you probably have to wake up at like 5 o'clock and. What? Who?
Okay. Is this on the weekend?
Oh, girl, no. Oh. But it was before work. Because then I had to come in and do work. Yeah.
Oh.
And I was sitting there like, okay, like this is all right, cool. I feel like these are things that people have to deal with, you know, when they get their job. All right, cool. By the end of the week, I had just kind of had it. She was like ridiculously condescending. She was no help whatsoever. Every time I went to, and then I had the other partner emailing me. Hey, I need you to look into this. I need you to research this, XYZ. And I would do it. I'd do exactly what she told me to do. And I'd answer her. And then she write me back and be like, oh, so that's not what I was asking. I was asking XYZ. When you compare what she asked up here with what she asked down here, two completely different things. Why are you making me do work that just means nothing right now? So eventually I went to the other associate and I was like, hey, you've been working with her for a while now, so can you tell me, you know, what does she mean by this? Because I'm trying to figure it out and I feel like I answered her questions. By this time, it's like the third question where she's like, this isn't what I'm asking you. So I'm like, okay, clearly I don't speak English. Like, what is happening right now? And I asked the other associate and she reads it and she's like, yeah, I think you answered it. I don't know, maybe try asking her again. I was like, I've asked her like 3 times. Like, I don't understand what's happening. It was just the most amount of frustrating until eventually I was like, I can't work with you people. We're not on the same wavelength here. Like, you have this one over here being condescending and rude as hell and not helping whatsoever. And then you have the other one who's not in the office at all. She's like on a business trip forever. I don't know when you're coming back, but you asking me to do stuff. I'm wasting my time. I write you a big long office memo with like literally details of every question that you asked me. That's not what I asked you. What? I don't understand. Your associate don't understand what? I was done.
Fuck Felicia.
I was done. It was just so confusing. They were just, it's like piling on. By the end of the week, I was like, somebody about to get hit. I need to quit this job. Like, I called my mom and I was like, I can't deal with this. I can't. Like, this woman, the way she talking to me, like, she about to get clocked. I gotta go. That was the end of that. It helped though that I wasn't really feeling well that entire week, and I went to her and I spoke to her about it, and I was like, listen, my health is more important right now. This is not what I'm doing. I wish you well. When I feel better, I'll get back to you. I had no intentions of getting back to her about working there, but you keep your contacts. It is what it is, and that was that. So be it.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, so I believe that we're going to go ahead and leave you with that. If you want to go ahead and hear our second part of our worst jobs ever, go ahead and stay tuned for the other video, or click the next link because it's right there, and go ahead and listen to our next one. But right now, I want you guys to comment down below. Let us know if you liked our jobs, if you had one like us, or your worst job.
I know y'all have worse. You guys I know you have worse job experiences. Them jobs out there, they ain't no joke. People do it. It's like they don't care about their employees. No. They care about the job, the corporation, the company. And it's like, if you cared about your employees would care about you and this job.
Exactly. So let us know. Comment, subscribe, like, ring that bell
so you can see our beautiful faces. Share the video, guys, if you liked our story, and we'll definitely come back with the part 2. I think the part 2 in my part 2 is hella worse.
Yeah,
it's definitely worse than that first job.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, guys,
20 times worse.
You're not gonna believe it.
All right,
bye.
That's my best friend Shenielle,
and that's my best friend Shenielle.
Bye, guys.